Hello everyone, Brian here, and these are my predictions for the JCT Religious Education exam for 2026. So, going forward, starting off, just to break down what the actual paper is like, just for those who are uncertain, there's no option questions. Each section, A, B, and C, is out of 120 marks with 5 questions each. These questions can range from picture questions, short answer questions, match the box, and of course our long answer questions. It will mostly consist of long answer questions and some comprehension questions as well. Now, before I go into my actual video and predictions, just bear in mind none of my predictions are set in stone, none of them are canon, and again, do not take these predictions as exactly what will pop up. These are only areas I advise to look over, and again, there'll be probably more than less, there's not too many areas I'll be advising not to even kind of focus on regarding these exams. Because the Junior Cert Religion course has only been around since 2022 regarding exam papers, it's hard to see what trends there are just yet. But having said that, we will take a look and see what topics have come up and which more are likely to come up due to kind of importance and popularity. So starting off in strand 1, exploring belief, and again when I say these strands, strand 1, 2 and 3, it doesn't quite divide into section A, B and C. These strands and the topics in them can appear in any particular section. So world religions in Ireland today, based on what we saw in the 2022 census and the current growing population of Ireland regarding religious trends, I think this is a likely topic to pop up. In some shape or form we always see something to do regarding communities and development in Ireland, so I think it's important and a good prediction to say all the same. There could particularly be a question this year regarding this because of controversies regarding immigration and the importance of development and developed multicultural society. So I think this is something I would advise looking over and ensuring you know how groups such as St. Vincent de Paul, Muslim Sisters of Era, or maybe Buddhist temples in Dublin are kind of working towards kind of overcoming stereotypes and getting religions unified. Symbols and sacred texts, always a safe bet to go for. I highly recommend people look over the importance of certain symbols, but of course knowing the origin stories of sacred texts, whether it be the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, or if you're looking at Buddhism or Hinduism, the Tripitaka or the Vedas. I recommend knowing at least 2 of those sacred texts in good detail because again, you could be asked about the formation of it, but also how it could be treated and how people practice and respect it today. For example, the Quran, you could have a lot of Islamic people, they treat the Quran with respect, they treat it as a sacred object, not just words on a page. They keep the Quran usually safe in their house, and again, the Qurans are usually passed down from family to family. The Quran itself teaches about the importance of prayer and ritual in Islam, such as areas such as the 5 pillars. And the Torah, of course, as well, the scroll for Judaism is often treated with great respect. It takes a long time to make a Torah, usually up to a year, and it's handwritten. They cannot be mass produced in the printer. So things like that could be important to know, not just the idea of what the Torah contains. Just be conscious of those kind of topics. Stewardship and the environment, again, a very popular topic. One of the topics that has come up most years since 2022. So again, potential topic come up again this year because the environment is such an ongoing issue. And again, the importance of stewardship regarding looking after is something to look at. Now, again, I'd recommend looking over this topic in detail, but also from a religious and non-religious perspective. Look at groups such as Laudato Si from Pope Francis that are working towards a better environment, but also look at the likes of Greta Thunberg and what other people are doing to kind of promote environmental issues. And lastly, ecumenism and interfaith dialogue. This is a common topic, and again, a popular topic that's come up multiple times since 2022. You might be thinking if it's come up multiple times, why it come up again? These exams are usually based on what's going on in the world right now, what topics are interesting, what's important, what's in the media. So the main thing I'd say to you before anything else and before I carry on is actually start looking at news outlets on your social media, whether it be RTE, whether it be even Waterford Whispers or BBC. These things do tend to kind of show off and explain what's going on in the world today and give an idea of it. An interfaith dialogue, if you haven't recalled, is basically communication between 2 major religions. So in this case, the Israel-Palestine conflict coming to certain blows has certainly kind of sparked a lot of controversy again. So the need for interfaith dialogue or a question around the need for interfaith dialogue may pop up. So I reckon a question phrasing along the lines of if you were to host a multicultural day or some form of group day where people had to express their interest in kind of bringing societies together, interfaith dialogue and how you'd actually promote interfaith dialogue in your school, that could be a potential question you could be asked. So be conscious of looking over those topics and knowing them inside and out. Now, next up, we all know your major religion tables, so often and more often not you're asked some sort of kind of matching table in the exams. So here's a quick breakdown of some bits of information you could be asked. So things such as the 5 different founders, sacred texts, place of worship, but also population sizes today, age of religion, the belief type. So again, which religions are monotheistic, polytheistic, pantheistic, The symbols, of course, but again, we're not restricted to these symbols as well. There are other symbols representing each religion. For example, the fish in Christianity as well, or maybe something along the lines of religious clothing as well. So things could be something as a kippah, or something like a saffron robe in Buddhism. These are topics that could come up through the image questions. Important locations, of course, as well. So whether it be locations that are important to the current capital or maybe where the religion started off. And festivals, of course, apologies to the cut out here in S. That's just made the tables brought on. But certain festivals that are unique to certain religions. There's usually a trial process of elimination or trial by error questions, the topic way of going with those questions. So always start off with the ones you know, if you're expected to fill in the blank of all five. And then when they're giving you the options for the other two, please ensure you just kind of decide which one sounds more kind of associated with that religion. So again, which rite of passage, which festivals are so do which, that kind of thing. So going forward, on this slide you'll notice that there's actually a bit of a table box here yourself to try and challenge yourself, see how many of those features you can fill in and know off the top of your head. So I'd recommend you take a look at that, print it out and fill it in. Next, strand 2. So again, I did realize that was actually covered over there, but stewardship environment is actually something I should have swapped around. But that is something, again, like I said in the last topic, has a strong chance of popping up in some shape or form. Founding stories. Again, the origins of religion, not just the idea of what the sacred text is, where the origins of religion actually came from and its meaning today. So how do they practice that religion, origin story today? For example, the idea of Moses freeing the slaves from Israel, or from Egypt, should say the Israelites from Egypt. The idea of how that's celebrated through Passover. That's a topic that has a strong chance of popping up for junior cert religion. But of course, also, as well as that, religion and science been absent for a year or two, so I reckon there's a strong chance of popping up this year. So all those three topics, I'd really hone in on this one. The idea of either looking at Charles Darwin or Galileo Galilei, and how the ideas of their science can coexist with religion today, and what the views of these ideas are today as well. Most modern religions, including Catholicism, accept the ideas of Darwinism and Galileo, but at the time, of course, as you may know, the church exiled these groups. Now, I may not specifically ask about Darwin or Galileo, but I might ask maybe a person who's had a conflict with the church, or maybe their views disagreed with the church. So just bear in mind, Darwin's theory of evolution, or his theory of natural selection, I should say, and Galileo's idea of the discovery of the telescope and the idea that we are not the centre of the universe was something that the church did not collaborate well with. So, other probable questions in strand 3. So personal commitments. They may still ask a question, maybe a person who has shown kind of commitment to a charity or a cause. Again, someone connected to maybe your CBA link. So whether you do your topic on someone like a footballer, like Mo Salah, Malala, of course, or maybe the likes of Philomena Lee, same as Nepal, have an idea of these kind of people, what work they've done, and how their work is reflected in modern society. They might specifically ask you about a particular person of commitments. They might have kind of a comprehension paragraph on someone who's worked for the local environment and communities. They may ask you on a person you know who's shown a certain form of commitment. They may ask specifically on religion, or they may ask on non-religious ideas. Just have a backup of someone who's worked towards religion and someone who's maybe worked outside the zone of religion. So again, a charity worker, someone the likes of Katie Taylor, how she promotes her faith through her sport, or you could talk with someone like, again, a Greta Thunberg, who's not quite religious but has done a lot of environmental work through her cause and her social media. Challenges of faith in the modern world. Again, with all the conflict and wars going on, there's always a possible topic of having these ideas and reflecting what's gone on in the past. So we talked about how interfaith dialogue is a strong chance of popping up, but more so historically, reflecting on controversies of religion, looking at challenges that certain groups have actually overcome. So the church's challenges, whether it be the abuse scandals in Ireland, or maybe trying to decline in mass attendance. Areas for Judaism, anti-Semitism on the rise again, and Islamophobia on the rise from the 2010s from other issues connected to stereotyping and oppression. So again, going over groups such as your Muslim Sisters of Era, going over topics such as Philomena Lee, the woman who survived mother and baby homes, and how they basically have told their story to help out others. Other cases like Tommy Reichenthal, the Jewish Holocaust survivor living in Ireland. These are all potential topics that could be relative to your exam, and how they have how they're kind of relative to the idea of challenges that faiths have actually experienced. And lastly, of course, moral decision making. Morality is always asked in some shape or form. So it could be, I reckon in this case, maybe something on the non-religious moral codes and both the religious moral codes, and along with the idea of developing moral maturity. So understanding how people use maybe such religion or maybe more modern influences to encourage their moral outcome and their moral compass. So on that note, the main thing I say regarding religious education is, when it comes to the questions themselves, always be conscious of what's going on. So what is happening? What does this tell me about belief or faith? Always ensure you underline the keywords in your question. So if you are seeing a question saying the morality itself, if you use the word moral, do not be afraid to explain moral, and do not be afraid to explain and define the word moral in good detail. Give examples, plenty of examples to show the examiner you know what you're talking about. If you're given about half a page worth of space to write your answer, use it well and use it wisely. Do not leave short answers. Make sure you leave nothing blank and always answer in full sentences. Explain your answer, not just name what you see. So be conscious of giving as much detail of what you can and when you can. If you're writing a long answer question, you could use methods like PQE, 1, 2, 3. One method I like to use the odd time is OREO. State your opinion or answer the question clearly. So maybe we can define a key word or say what you think about the importance of interfaith dialogue, morality, rituals, whatever it might be. Explain why you think that's relevant, so give a clear reason, highlighting it back to the answer that the question is asking. So saying why are rituals important in modern times? People tend to follow rituals because it helps them through their daily routines, helps them mark certain points in their life, whatever answer might be. Examples. Whether it's one example in detail or multiple examples are always your best friend in these exams because it shows the examiner you know what you're talking about. You're able to connect a topic that the examiner is asking about to a topic relevant to yourself or the world today. So again, going back to the moral influence, people that influence your morality today, parents, friends, going to the idea that friends encourage you to maybe do things such as clubs, sports, whatever it might be, parents encourage you to behave in school, that kind of thing. So examples are important. If you're doing something like interfaith dialogue, you're looking at the years of the Oslo Accords, you're looking at areas of, say, the Laudato Si for environmental issues, and then you're looking at things such as examples of specific rituals in each individual faith, whether it be the 5 pillars, whether it be the 10 commandments, whether it be prayers, whatever it might be. And of course, your opinion restated. So going up with your analogy, saying why this is something you think is important and why it should be relevant to the actual question. A quick example of this. So state your strong opinion, say clearly what you believe about the topic, give reason that makes sense, think of moral or religious or practical reasons, always include an example. Use words like faith, justice, compassion, stewardship, sacred values. If you know a topic on whether morality or environment comes up, use your other keywords there. Very seldom the exam will ask you directly on a keyword, so it's your job to bring in the keywords and its definitions. Assume your examiner is not aware of what these words mean, so explain it for them. Use time to carefully go over these keywords and explain what they mean in detail. You don't need to write loads, just make sure each part counts. So a quick example for the OREO might work. Rituals are traditions, habits, or actions that have meaning, to help people feel connected to their faith and community, or help them prepare for an exam or an event, For example, Holy Communion in Christianity brings people together, reminds them of Jesus' Last Supper, carry on. That's why I think rituals are meaningful and help religious traditions alive, keep religious traditions alive. So that's a good, quick example of how the OREO would work. I'd encourage you not just to take that as a sufficient answer, but again, if the box is only giving you, say, 4 or 5 lines, use them. If you have more to say, use the additional space provided in the actual exam booklet to ensure you get all the marks possible. There's another few examples as well, going through how the OREO might work on something like your topic on themes of religious themes found in modern cultural films. So again, how you might look at a film such as maybe Prince of Egypt, The Life of Pi, and how you might see religious themes in those films today. That's a quick breakdown of that answer. So lastly, you have your comprehension questions as well. Usually you don't need to do too much research for your comprehension questions or know too much background, but I might ask you a particular question and what they might mean. So always be reflective where you can. And again, don't give opinion, don't give judgment, but make sure you are very much reflective. So hopefully that helped. If you have any further questions, don't be afraid to contact me on ExamRevision. My email is thebcteaching@gmail.com. But also act now and you get your 40% discount. Best luck in your junior cert, and hopefully I'll see you next time for Leaving Cert Religious Education.